Yep.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
This is podcast 4.
This is podcast number 4. It might also be 5 and 6.
But it also could be 3.
We haven't done this in a while.
We don't remember the number.
In any word, this is going to be podcast part 1 of 2 at least. Maybe 3, not 4.
We'll see what happens. You know, we're open to the possibilities of continuing a conversation through 2 podcasts.
We have a lot of things to talk about.
We do.
So we're just going to talk, and then we're going to edit something, so it sounds like we cut off in the middle. It's because we did.
Yep.
Also, if it sounds like we're outside, we are outside, as far as you know.
Yes, that's exactly right.
We're in the woods.
Of the Midwest.
Of the Midwest.
Try and find us, I dare you. Alright, well, I don't dare you, because this is the internet.
It's very easy.
Alright, well, I guess we should begin where we always begin.
What's that?
What games have you been playing?
Games? I've been playing a lot of games. Most recent. I mean, I'm still playing the same games I normally play. So, like, Hearthstone, I play it once a week. I think the last time we recorded, I was playing Batman Arkham Knight, or I just got it, or something. Because I just got my PS4. It came with the PS4 for free. So I'm playing that, which is a lot of fun. I just beat it the other day. And the only way I feel like I could beat it was if I took a break in the middle of it. So I played it for like a week. Had a lot of fun with it. I was a little concerned with the Batmobile because, like I was saying, it gets kind of tedious in the beginning. And I took a break in the middle to play Black Ops 3 beta, which is super awesome. Super excited for the Black Ops 3. And then I also played Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, which was the PSN Game of the Month for PS4 in June or July. So I played that, downloaded it for free, played it. I don't know. The Ground Zeroes, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, is essentially a prequel to Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, which is a console release, I think, for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Might also be at last gens, but I'm not sure. But Ground Zeroes is literally just one level.
Yeah.
Where you do a couple missions in the same, like, outpost. Mm-hmm. Which was really the only problem I had with it. Like, it was super fun. There's all these mechanics. You play as a Big Boss. Mm-hmm. Or Naked Snake, as he's formerly known as. And it's in the middle of, like, the Metal Gear Solid storyline. Yeah. Like, the only other Metal Gear Solid game I played was Guns of the Patriots for the PS3. Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots for the PS3. Which, ironically, was the first game I ever played for my PS3. When I bought my PS3, I was under 17. I was underage by mature games. Mm-hmm. So I had my now brother-in-law, who worked at Best Buy, buy Assassin's Creed 1 and Metal Gear Solid 4. And then he walked it out to the parking lot where I was sitting in my car, and I gave him the money. He gave me the bag full of merchandise. It looked a lot like a drug deal.
That's a little sketchy. I'm not surprised.
I went home and played Metal Gear Solid 4, which has so many cutscenes, but all the cutscenes look super good. And then that game's super long, so I stopped playing that for a little bit. Played Assassin's Creed 1, beat that game, went back to Metal Gear Solid 4. So Metal Gear Solid 4 is the first game I played on my PS3, but Assassin's Creed 1 is the first game I ever beat. I always think about that. And then I had a PS3 for a long time.
You know, I bought that game before it was on PlayStation Plus.
Which one?
The 0 Hour.
Ground Zero?
Ground Zero, that's it.
You paid like $25 for it?
It was like $40.
What?
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
When it first came out. And
wait, did you tell me about this?
I think I have before. I did not talk to you about this.
Not recently.
On the podcast, but I think in person we've talked about this. And I bought it, and I remember I was really enjoying it because, well, I'd always heard good things about Metal Gear Solid. Never, I could not get into, 4, the PS3?
Yeah, Guns of the Patriots.
Because the cutscenes were just way too long.
Oh my gosh.
It was so frustrating.
I played that whole game. There's like 16 hours of cutscenes in that game. The very last cutscene is like half an hour to 45 minutes long. I literally fell asleep in the middle of it. Don't remember how the game ended, because I fell asleep. Which is so frustrating, because I played the game for like 50 hours. Yeah. Was so encouraged to like watch the final cutscene, fell asleep.
Yep.
I'm so mad.
I mean, that's kind of how I feel about the game in general.
I think someone died.
Probably.
But I don't know who. The biggest problem I had with Guns of the Patriots, which is Metal Gear MGS 4, which I'm hoping doesn't happen in MGS 5, is about halfway through the game, you stop dealing with, like, human enemy combatants, and you start dealing with these Metal Gear, which is, like, robots.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't assassinate these people. You can't, like,
tranquilize
them out. Like, you have to, like, sneak past them. I'm like, well, it takes a lot of the fun out.
Yeah.
So you just, like, it just becomes from, like, a stealth combat game to, like, purely stealth.
Yeah. So essentially it becomes like a puzzle game.
Yeah, kind of. There's this one scene at the very end where Solid Snake, who is the main character of this one, at the very end he has to, like, crawl through an irradiated tunnel for, like, 10 minutes. And, like, you can see the radiation, like, bubbling on his skin.
Oh, my gosh.
And that was one of the first experiences I had on the PS3. And I'm like, I have so many feelings right now. But
it was awesome.
What'd you think of Ground Zeroes?
I
paid $45 for it.
I paid $45 or something around there. I did the mission. I had to come back to it for some reason, but I beat it. And for some reason, I did not know that it was just one mission.
Yeah.
And when I beat it, and then it just unlocked more modes of doing the same mission, it pissed me off, and I sold it.
Understandable.
Took it right back to GameStop. I was like, this is dumb. I bought it, like, 5 days later, took it back. Yeah. So my general opinion of that game is pretty low, just because my expectation was that it was going to be a much longer game.
Yeah.
And it was definitely one mission.
Yeah, there's one mission. There's one story mission where you get some background and you get some foreground and some foreshadowing to what happens in the sequel, which is The Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
But in Ground Zeroes, literally just one story mission in this one Cuban military zone. It's not even a city. It's just like a Cuban
military base.
U.S. outpost, like a military base.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the story mission, there's like 8 side missions where you do different things, like destroy communications or assassinate these 2 people, but it's all in the same spot.
Yeah.
And it was like, I got this for free, and I'm like, well, this is kind of lame. Like, why would people pay money for this? Like, people must not have known. It was a good... I think the only reason I bought The Phantom Pain is because I played Ground Zeroes for free and enjoyed it. Because the mechanics of the game are flawless. Like, the game itself plays really well. Yep. It's just the fact that there's only one mission.
Yep.
But that happens.
Well, what else are you playing?
So I took a break from Arkham Knight to play those 2 games. Mm-hmm. When I got back into Arkham Knight, I was having more fun with it the second time, like after my break, than I did when I previously played it for some reason. Mm-hmm. And after my break, the Batmobile didn't seem so tedious anymore. Mm. Like, I really enjoyed using the Batmobile. There's a point in the game, there's 3 islands. So on the game, there's 3 islands. And the first island you have on the Batmobile, like, has free reign. You can do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. The second one, you have to, like, lower the bridges, and then you can do whatever you want. In the third one, you have to, like, lower the bridges, destroy all these guard towers, and destroy all this other stuff, and then you can get it on, and you can get the Batmobile on the island.
Yeah.
And I took my break before I could get all the guard towers destroyed. So before I get access to the third island with my Batmobile, I took a break. Mm. So when I got back, that was, like, the first thing I did. So I'm like, oh, this isn't too bad.
Gotcha.
But there's this really... The game itself was super fun. I liked it a lot. The mechanics of it also are really good. They improved upon what they did with the first 2, because Arkham Knight is the third of a trilogy. It's the 4th Arkham game, because it goes Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, which was a prequel to Arkham Asylum, and then Arkham Knight. So it's technically the 4th game, but nobody ever pays attention to Arkham Origins, because I guess it got really good. I never played it, but everyone talks about it like it's awful. So I was having fun with it. The stealth in that game is really fun. You get a whole bunch of really cool gadgets. Like, there's this rifle that you get that you obviously can't shoot people with, because it won't kill them. But you can, like, shoot people's guns. It's like an electronic rifle. So you shoot people's guns, and whenever they try to use their gun, like, it won't work. So then they can run over to, like, an ammo dump, which you can also shoot with the same rifle. Mm-hmm. And then once they go to the ammo dump, it explodes.
I like it.
Which doesn't kill them for some reason. because it's Batman, he can't kill people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely an explosion.
But he definitely kills people.
He definitely, yeah. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
But
Batman never kills anybody, but Batman kills everyone.
Batman kills so many people. But he's like, well, I didn't save them, so it doesn't count as me killing them. Like, no, you straight up murdered that guy.
Yep.
But, I mean, I had a lot of fun with it. The story was really good, really engaging, I thought. I think Alfred's, like, the hero of the game. Just because I never paid a lot of attention to Alfred.
Mm.
But he will, he knows everything.
Dude, it's Alfred.
Batman will be like, Alfred, look at connections between this person and this place. And then Alfred will just, like, type on his computer, and then, like, 30 seconds later, he'll be like, oh, well, this person did this and this and this. Like, Alfred, you're, like, 85. How do you even know how to open up a Word document? Like, how do you use the internet like this?
Do you think Alfred has a Facebook page? Do you think he's on Facebook? My grandma's on Facebook.
See, I don't know if... I know your grandma's on Facebook.
That's a whole nother story.
But I don't know if... Like, do people know about Alfred? Like, people outside of Batman's, like, little inner dominion?
You know, I assume... Well, I would think close friends would, because they'd be over, but how many close friends does Batman have?
Bruce Wayne.
Right.
I mean, they would come over and they'd be like, oh, I assume that Bruce Wayne has a butler.
But they don't know the importance of Alfred.
But they don't know...
And how awesome he is.
But Alfred also raised him after his parents died, so you'd think people would know.
True.
Like, at least Child Services would know.
At least Child Services.
But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows other than them? But I had a lot of fun with it. Where are we at? Yeah, so the Batmobile wasn't as lame as I thought it would. The story itself was a little bit predictable, which I was warned about. But it wasn't... There was a twist at the end, which you could kind of see coming, but only because of foreshadowing. Mm. But because it took me a little bit longer than I think most people, that's because I just don't know that much about Batman. Mm. But it was a really good story, really good twist. In Arkham, are you going to play these games?
The Arkham games?
Yeah.
I haven't yet.
But you plan on it?
I'm open to the idea.
So I shouldn't spoil things.
If you could be vague, that would be nice. But you don't have to. I don't care.
Let's see. I just won't say that then.
Okay.
There's this really cool game mechanic where, like, Batman has this dual monologue inside of his head in Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Kind of like a good angel on your shoulder and a bad angel on your shoulder.
Gotcha.
He has that throughout the whole game, which I think they did really, really well. Mm-hmm. Which just kind of shows... I don't know. It's just really good commentary. It's a lot of the driving point behind the storyline. You get two different points of view.
So it's like the inner struggle?
Yeah. And it's deliciously good.
Deliciously good. Yeah, so you beat it.
I did beat it.
So which means that now you have to rate it. And deliciously
I don't want it.
Which is a beautiful, beautiful way of describing the game. So we've decided that from now until we change it,
which could be right now.
Which could be whenever, really, honestly. That we're going to have to rate based off of food, compared to food. So, Tony, talk to me about food.
The game itself, I was reluctant to play, just because, I mean, I got the PS4, it came with the PS4, so I'm like, oh, I have this here in front of me, I'll play it. And then the more I played it, I liked it, and then at the middle point, I'm like, I don't really want this anymore.
Yeah.
And then I came back to it, and I'm like, oh, this is really good. So, it could be like... Not a piece, but like a whole cake.
A whole cake?
Yeah. So, birthday cake, specifically.
Okay.
So you have an office party, someone brings in birthday cake, you're like, man, this is in front of me, so I guess I'll have a piece. You have a piece, like, well, I'm kind of done with this now. But then if someone's like, hey, you want to take a piece home? You're like, yeah, sure, I might want it later. So you take it home, and you're like, oh, the cake's here, so I'll eat it. So I'm going to compare Batman Arkham Knight to office party birthday cake. That's
interesting. So, but just like one, it's like two slices.
Yeah.
Not
the whole cake.
Not the whole cake. I was assuming
it's not your birthday.
You meant like you ate a bunch of birthday cake, and then you felt sick, so you took a break, and then you came back to it the next day, and you finished it off, and it was really good. That's kind of how I interpreted it when you.
No, because I didn't get sick of Arkham Knight. I just decided that I needed to take a moment from it. That's because I had other things to do.
Yeah.
But it's not your birthday. It's somebody else's birthday in the office.
Okay, that's better.
So you didn't really earn the cake. It just kind of fell in front of you, and you're like, well, okay, I'll have it.
Okay. Fair enough.
But to go back to the game, there's like a choice wheel. So it's like a 12-sided circle, and each number, if you look at a clock, each number would be a mission or a type of mission.
Yeah.
And then you can choose that mission, and Batman would be like, "Oh, well, I don't know where this is, but I can run around the city and see if I can find things." Or if there was intel on it, Alfred would chime in. He'd be like, "Hey, this guy's over here." So you do that, and then eventually, it would show what percentage of that you have done. Mm-hmm. So by the time I ended the game, of if there was a wheel of 12, I had 8 or 9 of them 100% complete before I finished the story mission. Nice. And it wasn't super tedious either.
I find a lot of games nowadays that have the open world design tend to think that the best way to fill it is with a bunch of side quests that don't matter, and it gets frustrating at times. I feel like I love the open world design, but I feel that the game needs to have a quality side quest system with good stories, because that make you feel at least a little bit invested in the side stories. I think of Skyrim when I think of this, because there were a lot of side quests in Skyrim that I really enjoyed, and I felt
Skyrim is a good example of side quests.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
What's a bad example?
World of Warcraft? Can I use that?
I have no idea. Never played it.
Okay, I do not like World of Warcraft. I feel like every quest is so dumb.
Is World of Warcraft you go into a town and you talk to a guy and he's like, "Hey, I need 40 things of lamb's wool." You go out and fight 40 lambs.
You kill 40 lambs, then you bring it back.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like. Well, I know...
Because he's like, here's 200 gold. I'm like,
right.
Thanks, dude.
Exactly.
I could find this in the treasure chest. This was useless.
I kind of have a similar complaint about Destiny. However, I spent countless hours doing those side quests, so I can't say that I didn't enjoy it, because I did enjoy Destiny, but the side quests still got very repetitive. I mean, literally, the whole point of the strike playlist was just to rotate through the strikes and get a bonus every week. And so literally every week I was doing the same...
Strikes or Nightfall?
Strikes. And, Nightfall is slightly different because it kind of changes the parameters, but heroic strike playlists and just regular quests got very repetitive.
See, I think Destiny did okay with that, because some people don't like PvP. I personally prefer PvP over anything else. So when they put so much effort, a strike playlist where you just do strikes and strikes over and over again, I thought it was really cool, but there just wasn't enough diversity in strikes.
I would agree with that.
And people would rush through them. If you play them with your friends, you'd take your time and have fun. But if you're playing with random people,
they just sprinted the whole time.
Yeah.
And you don't.
But I have a lot of problems with Destiny. However, the Taken King just came out recently.
Yes, very recently.
The best thing I've seen about the Taken King so far, I didn't buy it, but there is a thing I saw on Facebook from one of my friends, is that you go to Destiny's website and you type in your gamer tag and you choose one of your 3 characters, and it will make a small video about that character, which is really cool. So they'll be like, you got 6,000 kills with your favorite weapon, and then they'll be like, you got this many medals or this many precision headshots, and you're in 2% of all Destiny players, or 1% of all Destiny players.
Wow.
Or these are your top medals. And I have gameplay background on all this stuff. So it's real cool. The guy that showed it was in 1% of total Crucible kills and 2% globally of precision headshots.
Nice.
And then I was in top 5% of total kills, but I also stopped playing 3 months ago. So I'm if I kept playing, what could have happened?
You could have been top 1.
Right. So that little bit right there actually made me almost want to play again, just so I could buff my stats.
Yeah.
But the more I think about Destiny, the Taken King came out, it looks really cool, but I still think Destiny has the same problems. There's just not enough content.
Yeah.
But that can be a discussion for something else later.
Yeah.
I guess.
I'm sure that... I feel like that topic has just been so saturated with internet conversations.
Well, Destiny was a AAA title, and then it kind of fell flat on its face. However, Peter Dinklage got replaced by Nolan North. Nolan North is one of my favorite voice actors.
Yeah.
He's Drake from Uncharted.
Yes. I've heard... Also, isn't he in The Last of Us?
He's in Last of Us. I think he's Bill.
Yeah.
The gay guy in the city.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Which is funny. That's The Last of Us. What a great game.
Speaking of Naughty Dog.
Yes.
Naughty Dog tweeted at Valve.
Oh, yeah.
Recently.
Oh, yeah.
Asking for the rights to to make Half-Life 3. I mean, it's jokingly, of course. But I think,
what if?
But I think those jokes are funny.
I love this. Yeah, you definitely texted me last night.
I did. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. You didn't respond, but that's okay.
It's because I think I was sleeping.
Probably. But I thought, everyone wants Half-Life 3. And what bad game has Naughty Dog ever made?
Good question. I bet we could come up with something. Maybe that's a question for the next podcast.
Naughty Dog's the poster child for PlayStation. Maybe our next podcast will just be Naughty Dog games.
Didn't they make Bandicoot?
Yes.
Crash Bandicoot?
Yep.
So good.
Jack and Daxter.
Yep.
Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Other games I can't think of right now. Whole bunch of good stuff.
Yeah.
The worst Jack and Daxter game would definitely be Jack X, which was the racing game. I think it was Jack X.
Yeah.
And Naughty Dog didn't make that.
Well,
so
there you go. There you go.
I stopped watching The Walking Dead.
Tell me about what? The Walking Dead is so good.
There's this one episode I was stuck on for literally 3 weeks, and I couldn't get past. It was the very first episode where they meet the governor in that little city.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember his name, but the guy that cut off his hand in the first season, he's there.
Yeah.
And he's in charge of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, not in charge, but he's the head military guy, which is weird because he doesn't have a hand, but whatever. So there's the 2 girls.
People without heads?
Yeah. So there's the 2 girls, Andrea, who's my least favorite character, and this other girl that doesn't have... Disagree? What'd you say?
I agree.
Oh.
And I don't like Angela.
Angela? Is that the...
No, the blonde chick?
I don't know who that is.
Wait. Who are you talking about?
Andrea.
Is
the blonde chick. I don't know. She might be blonde. She's just real loudmouthy and stupid.
Yeah, and she goes off on her own because she's like, I can take care of myself.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't like her.
And then, she gets separated from him at the farmhouse. Mm-hmm. And then, this black girl picks her up. And the black girl has, 2 walkers behind her.
Oh, yeah.
That girl?
Katana chick?
Yeah.
She's
so now they're in the city with the governor. Mm-hmm. Literally took me 3 weeks to finish this one episode because I always fall asleep because it was so boring. Right at the end, the last 10 minutes, it really picked up where the governor goes and kills people, and then the last scene is the governor in his office. And he has this whole wall of Futurama heads.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, they're Walker heads, but
yeah, but I mean,
Futurama.
They got the idea from Futurama.
Walker heads,
but
I'm sure one of them was Reagan, so
probably. So, Nixon, I think, is the supreme ruler of Earth. True. I haven't watched a lot of.
No, Nixon was right.
But, yeah, so that episode literally took me so long to just watch. So I've been really burnt out on it. I hate Andrea, so I don't care if she dies or not. Mm-hmm. I hear that the governor is, one of the best villains in the whole show. Someone didn't spoil it for me on Reddit or something, but they said that specifically, that the governor was their favorite villain. Well, this guy must be more than what looks like. And then there's a Futurama head. I'm like, this guy is a collector. And then it faded to black, and I haven't gone back since. But... maybe I'll go back. Who knows?
Well, I think you should push through. I think it'll be worth it for you if you push through.
What I did watch all the way through was Video Game High School, which might be a Netflix original series, but I don't think it is. It's just
I'm pretty sure it's Disney or something.
It's not Disney.
Are you sure?
Yes. It's on Netflix. There's 3 seasons. The reason I say it's not Disney is because it starts... well, it looks like a Disney show. It looks like a kid's show.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I looked at it.
Right? And I watched... there's this YouTube video of, the first 10 minutes of the first episode. Mm-hmm. So I watched it real quick because I had 10 extra minutes. And it kind of got me hooked on it. It's essentially this guy, Brian, who... it's in a world where video games are more popular than, sports. And, more popular than, the president. Video games are, the top-notch. So, there's these little gags where, the president will be giving a speech about a war somewhere, and they'll cut away from the president and go to breaking news, and it'll be, this kid on a kill streak in, a Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
So, we'll be he's on a 15 kill streak. And they'll cut away from the president to watch the kill streak.
That's crazy.
Which is funny. But Brian, his name is Brian D. That's, his gamer tag. Mm-hmm. He's playing this game, and there's this guy... a pub stomper that gets in the same lobby that he's in. Mm-hmm. And Brian's AFK. The pub stomper is literally kind of everybody else. He's messing around with Brian. Puts it's a Battlefield Call of Duty combined. It's a shooter is what they're playing.
Yeah.
It's called Field of Fire, I think. Mm-hmm. It's on PC. They all play on PC.
PC Master Race.
But this guy, The Law. The pub stomper's name is The Law. Mm-hmm. So he goes and, Brian's AFK, so his character's just standing there. Mm-hmm. The Law has killed everybody else in the lobby, which I guess you don't get respawn. So the law puts like a grenade on Brian's head, and he's going to shoot it. But the law is walking away and not looking. And Brian comes back from being AFK, doesn't really realize what's happening, moves his character, and like the grenade like rolls over to the law and like blows up and kills the law.
Yeah.
And literally the whole world goes crazy that Brian killed the law. Like, oh my gosh, he killed the best player that ever touched the game. Like, this is crazy. So he gets invited to this video game high school, which is, I mean, essentially what that. It's just they play video games in high school. They have teachers that teach them how to play video games.
Interesting.
There's like a varsity and university first-person shooter squad for Field of Fire. There's racing games. There's like a racing game like Gran Turismo. There's a racing game like Mario Kart. They call them the Karters. There's fighters. There's like Guitar Hero. There's strategic games like StarCraft. Yeah, I can't think. RTS. There's RTS games.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because in the show, the highest money-making team is the varsity FPS team. Even though they have an RTS team, a real-time strategy team.
That makes sense to me, though.
That doesn't make any sense.
I feel like that's the football players. It's like if we equivalated, that's not a word.
If there was an equivalent?
If there was an equivalent...
If we paralleled it between...
Yes, it's a parallel. It'd be football players, and then RTS would be like, I don't know, chess club or something. Because like that'd be like the nerdy kids, right?
I guess.
Or like...
I guess that's a good point, but in the real gaming world, RTS is like above everything else.
Right, obviously.
But I guess in this... Like, the creators of this game, of this show, you can tell they did research.
Yeah.
But you can also tell that they're not gamers.
Interesting.
So, like, they did enough research to know some things.
Yeah.
But they didn't do enough research to be like, gamers made this show.
Yeah. What makes you say that?
They put lingo in it that gamers would say, but they don't always use the lingo correctly.
Interesting.
So it's like they did research. They're like, "Oh, what do gamers say? What do they do? How's this and this and this?" And a lot of time it works, but a lot of time it just kind of falls on its face.
So they just misuse some of the terminology.
It's that and some other things. There's also a social gaming part of this school. Yeah. So it's like people playing Farmville and stuff like on Facebook. But it's funny because they're all in like the basement of the school, like in the boiler room, and they all have these awful computers and all this stuff, which I think is really funny. Yeah. There's a lot of parallels between this game, like this show, and like real life that I think are funny. But I also look really far into this game. Like I'm looking for symbolism and stuff.
Yeah, you're trying pretty hard. You're in try hard mode.
I am. The whole time I was watching it, I was judging it really hard, but I also enjoyed the show. Yeah. So Brian, the first episode, he goes to video game high school. He meets two friends, a girl and a guy. The guy's name, I think, is Ted. His dad is the rhythm game teacher, so like Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
He's like Guitar Hero legend. And the girl is like she's a fighting game player, but really her passion lies in making video games. And her parents, like, both of her parents used to make board games, so now she has like this video game making ability.
Interesting. That she got from her family.
Yeah. And the Law, who was the pub stomper, also goes to that school.
There you go.
There's also this other girl that he meets that's the captain of the JV FPS team.
Yeah. Do they fall in love?
He gets on the JV team. They do start dating.
Figured as much.
Which is fine. I think she's really cool. Her mom eventually becomes the captain of the varsity and JV team. There's a lot of dysfunction between her mom and her. Then the show is really childish to begin with. Like, there's not a lot of stuff happening. They're making really, like, Disney Channel friendly jokes.
Yeah.
But by the end of the third season, they're making some really mature jokes, which really took me off guard.
Like raunchy jokes? Or
like raunchy jokes. Yeah. Like, there was one specific phrase they said. I can't remember quite what it was. But it was referencing male ejaculation. Which when I heard it, I'm like, wow, I can't believe they just said that on this show.
Yeah.
But they also, like, dropped F-bombs by the third season.
Really?
A whole bunch of cursing. Like, what is this? Like, it started off so lighthearted, and now it's this. And, like, in the second or third season, they have to deal with the loss of a parent. One of the parents dies in an accident. So they have to go through the stages of depression.
Yeah.
All this other stuff. I'm like, this show is hitting really hard. Like, it's changed from the first season. I watched it all the way through. There's only 3 seasons. Each episode's like 20 minutes to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not always the same length of episode.
Mm.
But, I mean, if you have some free time, I had fun watching it.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you've enjoyed it.
I did. There's some news I got. There was Rocket League, who was a good game.
Love Rocket League.
Right?
If you haven't played it, play it, because it is so much fun. I would suggest, however, playing it with friends, if you can.
Because playing it by yourself kind of is lame.
Yeah, it can be kind of boring if you play it by yourself, but I guarantee it, especially if they're in the same room or if you have a headset on or something, not just, like, you have to be able to communicate, because it is so hilarious when you do something that's super awesome.
Yeah, you don't communicate for strategy. You communicate to have fun.
You communicate to laugh and to go, I can't believe we just did that, oh my gosh. And then you do the Mexican goal sound for like 20 minutes when you get one. Yeah.
That's verbatim what happens.
That is basically every single goal that has ever happened in Rocket League.
As long as that's your goal, not their opponent's team.
Right.
Well, they're probably doing it too, but you can't hear it.
Well, we don't talk like that. They never score on us. Our defense is too strong. Nothing goes over my head.
Too much defense.
I am too fast.
Anyway, MLG.TV hosted the first Rocket League tournament. There wasn't a big prize pool or anything, but the underdogs won, if I remember. And now they're trying to make a league, the Rocket League.
Like an official league. Yeah. RL squared.
R2L. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
something like that. Some letters.
Yeah. Very interesting. Do you want to start a team?
No.
Okay.
That'd be good.
That'd be so much fun. So, MLG, Rocket League. Mm-hmm. So they're starting a league. Is there going to be a huge prize pool?
I doubt it. I mean, it's one of those games where people just, like, play for fun.
I suppose. But isn't that what Smash was at the beginning? It was just for fun?
There's not a giant prize pool for Smash either.
That's true. Well, isn't that what video games are for, though? Aren't video games just for fun?
Yes.
I mean...
There's also learning video games.
We don't talk about this.
Why not?
I don't know. I actually had one as a kid. It was like this bunny one.
Leapfrog?
No. And he would like... It was like a reading one. I'm a good reader. I'm so good at reading.
Because of this game?
Probably.
Or because of all the Final Fantasy you played?
Yeah.
All the text-based Final Fantasy?
Yeah. The PlayStation 1, everything was in text boxes. So all you young kids are spoiled with your... Cutscenes and dubbed
your dialogue
scenes and your good graphics and all those explosions that look nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's enough of that.
One of my favorite games, we just kind of talked about Smash. The Big House 5 is coming up here soon in October.
What is the Big House 5?
The Big House 5 is going to on track to be one of the biggest Smash tournaments ever.
Is it going to be Melee, Smash 4?
I think it's probably going to be everything. There's already, of the entrants, it's already third most popular, behind Apex 2015 and EVO 2015.
Nice.
Which is so weird.
That is growing?
Yeah, the scene is growing so many years after it came out. 14 years after it came out, the scene's still growing. And it's growing exponentially. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But this one, I think, is the first one to be crowdfunded.
Nice.
So now there'll be a higher prize pool for everybody. We talk about this with the competitive.
Yeah.
StarCraft.
I love the idea of crowdfunded.
Yeah, because you buy things. It's not like you donate money. I think you can donate money, but you buy things
that's just slightly more expensive.
Yeah, so you get something out of it, but you also the winner gets a higher prize pool, which is cool.
Yeah, for sure.
In recent news, there have been 2 major tournaments: PAX and Paragon. Mango won Paragon over Mewtwo King. There was 3 gods there and Leffen, who people call the Godslayer. So top 6 players. Mango, Mewtwo King, Hungrybox, and Leffen, I think, were all there. They're all in top 8 at least.
Yeah.
Leffen got 8th. Hungrybox got 3rd, I think. And Mewtwo King got 2nd. Mango won. Which is nice, because I don't think Mango's won in a while. And he also took a break to be a commentator. At PAX, Mewtwo King 6-0'd Leffen, which is ridiculous, because Leffen's good. And Mewtwo King has been having hand problems to where his hands have hurt if he does extended play. I don't think he's gone to a doctor yet, but I think he's been doing some therapy with his hands.
Yeah.
So it's the fact that he came back and beat Leffen. Leffen's been literally dominating this whole year. Like, he didn't win Evo. Armada did. But Leffen's won, like, 8 other titles. So he's doing really well. Mm-hmm. But the fact that Mewtwo King 6-0'd him is ridiculous.
That is...
Leffen didn't even take a game. So Mewtwo King beat him 3-0 in Winners Finals. Leffen went down, beat somebody in Losers Final, came back up to Grand Finals, and got 3-0'd.
Wow. Man, how does it make you feel like when that happens? Well,
I hate Leffen, so I love it when he loses. And I love Mewtwo King.
There you go.
I love all the gods. Mewtwo King, Hungrybox, PPMD, Mango. And there's one more I can't think of right now. Armada, obviously. I love Armada too.
Yeah.
He's the only sweet I like. I hate Leffen. Armada has a brother who also plays, but he's not as good. Also, Axe, who plays Pikachu, the best Pikachu player.
Nice.
And Westballs, who plays Falco.
There you go.
Both are signed by Tempo, the organization.
There you go.
I know a lot about Smash. Maybe we'll do an episode about that.
Maybe we should. But we'll have to play Smash together afterwards, because you know how it makes me feel.
Yeah, I asked Justin if he wanted to play Smash before this podcast, and it always puts Justin in a very specific mood.
Very specific, except for if I do really well, which doesn't happen very often.
It generally doesn't happen.
It has. It has before. There have been times.
There have been times,
very
but
few.
Generally, it puts you in a pretty negative mood, and then you're not too happy to do a podcast with me.
Yeah. Nothing has brought people together and torn them apart so quickly as Smash has in my life.
In your life specifically.
Yes,
like Mario Party would do that.
Yeah.
Monopoly, I hear. I never played Monopoly.
You haven't played Monopoly?
I mean, I have, but I don't know how. Oh. Which is weird, because who doesn't know how to play Monopoly?
I would say Catan also. Settlers of Catan can really break you up.
I guess so.
You would know.
I won the last time. So
yeah. What did you do before you... let me just say, let me just take you through what Tony did to my Settlers of Catan board.
Allegedly.
Brand new.
Allegedly.
I can have witnesses. I have witnesses. There were plenty. Your wife, too. Okay? New Catan board. Spent a little bit of time breaking it in, breaking it out of the little cardboard cutouts.
Oh, I broke it in.
And set it up. Really enjoying using my new board for the first time.
Yep.
About halfway through the game, Tony spills his drink on it.
Yeah.
His whole drink, not just like a little bit. Like the entire board is pretty much covered with drink.
It was monsoon season in Catan.
And so now my board still is a little bit warped, and I have not invited Tony back over for a Catan night, and I don't think it will happen for a long time. Or we'll just get you a sippy cup next time.
Well, we'll probably do that. But it was on accident, and both of us know it was on accident. Justin's not blaming me for it. So.
Whatever.
Well, it's my fault.
It is your fault.
But I apologized.
It's okay. I'm just a little bitter. Just because it's just like we're breaking in the virginity, and you really destroyed it. You heard it. It was the first time. It's supposed to be enjoyable, Tony.
I won. I enjoyed it.
Shut up.
I
should have lost.
I think you got even more mad that I won.
Yeah, well, because I was like, I could have won my turn, but I just misplayed it. And then you won. Seriously, if I had all the right resources, I just wasn't thinking straight. I was like one victory point away. I could have won. If I would have just built another settlement.
That's rough.
For some reason, I was like, I can't build more settlements because I have 4 cities. That was dumb.
I don't think you need an extra road. I'm pretty sure I did the math and you couldn't have won, but you would have definitely won the next turn if I didn't beat you.
No, I was going to win the next turn anyways. I thought you... Well, this doesn't matter to the podcast. But
I don't know. It's a game.
It is. And we're talking about games.
It's a popular game.
Games I've been playing recently are the exact same that I was playing last time we had a podcast.
Have you played Heavy Rain yet?
Nope.
Sounds like a no.
That's a no. I've been playing The Witcher 3 pretty extensively.
How much farther are you into?
And I've been playing Hearthstone. Witcher 3, I probably put probably 15 hours into it.
Is there a percentage completed monitor?
Not that I've found.
Or is it just go and go and go?
I think it's just go and go and go. I have...
Basically,
I've explored
side quests in The Witcher 3.
See,
we're talking about.
Yes, true. I would say that most of the side quests are enjoyable. because they have their own like mini storyline arc. Like usually it's not just like, hey, go over here and do this one thing. I'm like, kill this thing, which there is sometimes, but those are Witcher
kill 40 sheep.
Well, no, not like that, but they're Witcher contracts.
Shave 40 sheep.
Yeah, you're right. I'm never shaving sheep. No, it's like, go kill this dragon that's harassing people, and then you go do it, and then you get to keep the head as a trophy, which gives you bonuses. So different Witcher contracts give you different like trophies, which are usually the head of the creature, that you can put like attached to your horse. Like it just like hangs from your saddle.
Oh, and not like on the head of the horse.
Right, no. And it gives you bonuses. Like, I think that's such a cool feature.
Refresh me. The Witcher is like a paranormal, like, mercenary?
He is a monster hunter.
People know that the Witcher is a Witcher, right? It's not some secret that he has supernatural powers.
Exactly. And people, the general consensus...
Like a demigod?
No, he's a human that has been, like, genetically altered through like magic and other things. And so the normal people generally distrust Witchers and kind of see them as slightly abominations. And they also, like a lot of them say that they are not needed anymore in the current times. However, there's plenty of work to go around, and I definitely kill lots of creatures. And so there's just like a little bit of prejudice against him, but nobody really wants to mess with a Witcher because he'll chop your head off. So
there's dragons just running around, and people are like, we don't need these Witchers.
Basically.
What the heck?
I guess I haven't killed a dragon yet. I've killed wyverns, and there's this like rooster thing that was a giant rooster.
A chocobo.
Weird. It was, honestly, it looked like a really, really mean red and brown chocobo that was like flying around and like apparently killed this hunter, and his son was crying, and I ran into this dude who like adopted the kid or took him into his house, and I learned it. Like, I actually really enjoy most of the... I wouldn't say all the side quests, but most of the side quests in that game I've enjoyed so far because
they have like story value.
They have a story to them, and like you are a Witcher, so you have to be a Witcher. Like the game, it's very difficult to just play the main story and have money in the game. And the thing with Witchers is that they don't do anything for free. That's what they're known for. You always have to pay Witcher. So that's another reason people don't like them.
Like a mercenary.
Right. Or a monster hunter.
Can you choose to do something for free?
You can. You have the ability, like, with the kid, you could choose to...
Did you charge the kid money?
Well, no, the guy who took him in asked me to hunt him down, and it gave me two options. I could either take money, or I would tell him to save the money for when he gets older. I definitely took the money, but...
Wow, college fund.
But, the game also really doesn't have consequences for being good or bad, other than you were good or bad. Like, and that's just... There's no karma system. And as far as I've been able to tell so far, it doesn't affect the main storyline at all. So really, I enjoy... It's refreshing because I'm not worried about the consequences. I can play exactly how I want to play. And I can be that type of person. And so, just like going back to like you have to be a Witcher. Like the main storyline, you can be a douchebag, or you can be like an altruistic type person. And I generally just judge it based on the situation, and if I think the person giving me the contract is worth anything, or if I need money, it's usually I just need money, because the game, it is very difficult to get money in the game to buy products, and then you also have to repair your gear constantly because it breaks. And if you fight creatures that are higher level than you, it breaks faster. At least that's how it feels. So money is very important, and so you kind of have to take Witcher contracts on to do side quests just to get money, and that helps. You guess you technically don't have to, but I can't imagine where I'm at right now being able to get as far as I am without doing like the hidden treasures that are just like randomly on the map that you can like usually you have to fight some like guardian monster and then you get to take a hidden treasure, and without doing the Witcher contracts, I finally feel like I'm confident in the amount of money I have, and I can circulate it pretty well too. Like with loot and repairing, I can usually pay for my repairs with my loot. So just from the side quests, and then the extra money I get to save. So I enjoy it because it's nice to not have a karma system for once, because now it's like the trend was for a long time you have side quests and you have one way of doing it. Well, then they added in the karma system. I think first game I can think of with the karma system was like Fallout 3.
Knights of the Old Republic.
KOTOR. Yeah. Why did I forget about KOTOR? What a great game.
Well, I don't think that was the first one, but I feel like Fallout 1 I think had karma. But I don't know when KOTOR came. I never played either one of these.
KOTOR came out Xbox.
I know
1.
in Fallout 1 or Fallout 2 you can kill
Xbox.
a child, and your name would permanently be changed to child killer.
Yeah.
And people would treat you differently.
Dang.
Which is funny. But you can't kill kids in any games now.
Yeah. It's not okay.
See, I don't like karma systems because I don't need karma systems to make me feel bad. Like,
yeah.
I've told this story before. I don't know if on the podcast or not, but I was playing GTA 5 online with some friends, and we were trying to get cars to go somewhere. So I made a ruckus in the streets, and a police car came up. I'm like, I'll just take this police car. I'm like, well, I can't get into it yet because the police officer was literally sitting on top of it. And one of my friends was like, oh, just shoot him and take his car. I'm like, I can't do that.
You can't shoot a police officer.
I can't do that. So I didn't. I think he eventually shot him, which I was more okay with. But I just couldn't. Like, I don't know. There's some games, specifically Metal Gear Solid 5, where you can, like, knock people unconscious, and then you can shoot, like, you can kill them, so they don't wake up again, or you just leave them unconscious and they'll wake up later and, like, alert the command post. So sometimes, like, I'll knock them unconscious and they'll be literally laying on the ground, and I'll shoot them execution style. And I'll feel so bad. There's just, like, I don't know. There's this wall that I can't break between, like, gaming and real life where I don't feel bad.
There's some things in games I can't do because it's just like I feel bad. It makes me think of the scene. I think it was in Black Ops 2.
Modern Warfare 2.
Was it Modern Warfare 2?
The airport?
The airport scene.
Modern Warfare 2.
And it caused a lot of controversy.
Yeah, it did.
And I remember when I played it, I just like I didn't shoot anybody. I just like walked through it because I didn't want to. I don't want shooting the civilians. I felt kind of guilty. I feel like I would have felt guilty if I would have. I already felt bad enough watching it happen.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, it asks you at the very beginning if you want graphic content, and I was like, well, of course I want graphic content. It's a violent game. I want to see blood.
Yeah, when you start the campaign, it asks you, like, 3 different times if you want to play this level. And once you get to the level, which is, like, the 3rd level, they ask you, like, 3 different times.
Yeah.
Like, you can skip this level and still figure out the story. I'm like, I want to play it.
Right.
And then you play it, and you're like, this is weird.
Yeah. It just, like, crosses the line. And I'm for freedom of expression, and I don't like the government wanting to step in and regulate gaming. Because I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, this should be banned." Oh my gosh, I don't like that argument. But it was challenging for me to want to play the rest of the game when that first scene was so intense.
I don't think it crossed the line. I think the game specifically rated M for mature.
Right.
See, we were old enough to play this that we're like, this is wrong, I don't want to do this.
Right.
Well, there's kids that are 8 years old, they're like, I'm going to shoot everybody.
Right.
So there's a very big difference between, like, because we can be emotionally invested in games, and we know right from wrong. Yeah. So that's why we're emotionally invested, and that's why these scenes matter to us. Mm-hmm. But little kids that just don't have that ability yet are just like, this is so cool, like, I can shoot everybody. Like, they don't understand, they don't realize their actions have consequences, and I realize this is a video game. Mm-hmm. But I don't necessarily think it crossed the line. But I think it did. It was very intense, but I also enjoyed it.
Yeah. Dang. So, Witcher 3, and I'm still playing Hearthstone. Going back to the question about what I'm currently playing, Hearthstone, I bought Naxxramas, the rest of it, and beat it finally. I'm so far behind all the expansions and things, but I've been enjoying it. I mean, it's a great game. I just downloaded on my phone Star Wars. What is it? Star Wars. It's like an RPG.
The Pocket Edition.
It just I think Star Wars Uprising is what it's called, and it's interesting because Star Wars Uprising. It's actually canon. It is canon in the Star Wars universe. It takes place after Return of the Jedi, and it's going to reveal small little plot details
about the movie.
Connecting the dots. So that's kind of segues into the next thing I wanted to talk about.
It?
I am not entirely sure. Let me open it up and see what it's
Lucasfilms, Lucas Games, or whatever it used to be.
Probably.
I don't think they just banned that.
LucasArts.
LucasArts. What a good company.
So, essentially, it's canon, and Lucasfilm did, and kabam, so I don't know if you guys know. I know you know because I briefly have talked to you about this.
So, Boba Fett's the worst bounty hunter. Because I agree.
Yeah, he basically is. I mean, he gets eaten by a sand, unmoved. Like, the thing doesn't even move. He dies to, like, a sand mouth.
Does he die? Did you see him die?
He is definitely dead. Well, okay, so he's not dead because apparently they're bringing him back, but he's definitely dead. It's like the same thing with Darth Maul. Okay? Darth Maul in Episode 1 gets chopped in freaking half and falls to the bottom of a giant pit.
Well, half of them falls. No,
both half. Yeah, they're just in two pieces. And so it always gets really frustrating to me when
plot twist. What if Darth Maul is really just two guys standing on top of each other?
Oh my gosh!
And they just cut.
That makes me think. That's like what is that? Men in Black. That's what that makes me think of. They would definitely do something like an alien like that. Like you cut them in half and it's actually two guys. So, but anyways, canon. The canon has changed so much since Disney took over. They brought Darth Maul back. Right? Well, I guess it wasn't then. It was Clone Wars.
Really?
In the Clone Wars series, the animated series, Darth Maul makes a return.
And is that before Episode 1?
It is before Episode 3, I believe. It's in between Episode 2 and Episode 3. It's the Clone Wars.
Is he like a robot like Frieza in Dragon Ball Z?
To an extent. His top half of his torso is regular, and the bottom half
Wait,
is
did they
mechanical.
put the legs from Monsters, Inc., the chief guy that has the spider legs? They put him on the bottom half, and Darth Maul's on the top half?
Essentially, Darth Maul... Here we go. I'm going to show up Tony. Here it is.
That's his face.
That is him normally.
Clone Wars, right there.
Right here. This...
Nope.
No, that's not good.
Nope.
Nope. There it is. It's like Grievous legs.
What? That's weird. There! So, that's the picture!
This one?
That's like the guy from Monsters, Inc.
Yep.
I mean, that's not...
He's like spider legs.
Yeah.
We're looking at like spider legs or like crustacean legs, kind of.
I'm telling you, the guy that was the villain in Monsters, Inc. They just put his legs on the bottom half of Darth Maul.
So, regardless, they brought him back. I thought that was dumb. And then all this talk about Boba Fett not being dead is baloney. Though I've heard rumors that they're bringing him back. So, I don't know how I feel about it. I do love Star Wars. It's probably my favorite series of movies and storylines, and most of that comes from, I think, a combination of my family really enjoying it growing up, and that really influenced me, and then also it's freaking sci-fi, and they have lightsabers, and they can like move things with their minds. Like, that's pretty sick. So that's that. You know, they
move things with the Force, not their minds.
That's true.
Midichlorians, Justin.
Well, they might be taking the midichlorians out of it. The new movie...
We thought it was this, but now we know it's not.
Well, but that's essentially what's happening because J.J. Abrams...
It's like, this is the first three sucked, so I'm fixing it.
Essentially, guess what he said? He said that he's counting 4, 5, and 6 as the canon. He's basing it off 4, 5, and 6. So there might be nods to 1, 2, and 3, but as far as I can tell, and I think there was even... I read an article about midichlorians and how they were doing away with that. That wasn't going to be it.
Maybe the reference to 1, 2, and 3 will be like, someone will have their Star Wars iPhone, and there'll be like a Rotten Tomatoes score. Yeah. They'll be like, The Phantom Menace, 0.6.
You're right. There's actually, the big joke is that he's going to put Jar Jar Binks' bones in the desert, on the desert planet in the new movie.
I've heard that.
So that's one of the rumors. But the big controversy is that there were hundreds of books, I feel. Hundreds of books. There were
Star Wars
comic books, Star Wars books, Star Wars comics, all of this material, media that has been out for, decades, since the original movie came out.
40 years.
And essentially with one foul swoop.
That's a long time.
All of those have been washed away, no longer canon. They still exist, obviously.
Because of Disney?
Because Disney wants to do it themselves, which... there's like two perspectives on this topic, and I'll tell you what I think at the end, but one side says this is dumb because for 40 years, like especially older fans have this feeling that they've been kind of betrayed by Lucasfilm, where all of the reading and the time they've spent like getting into the extended universe of Star Wars has been wasted because they spent all this money, they read all these books, and none of it actually has happened in the Star Wars universe. And Disney tries to connect the bridge by saying that it's Star Wars Legends, is what they call it. And it's like an imaginary world it's like a parallel universe that could have happened, is kind of how they're treating it.
And it did happen for 40 years.
But it did happen for 40 years, and this was the main storyline. And while I would say the majority of the books that I've read in the extended universe weren't that great, they were okay, they were entertaining, there are some gems. There are some really great series that take place after Return of the Jedi that have some critical acclaim. I'm thinking of Timothy Zahn's books, Heir to the Empire, and all of those. Really great works of sci-fi literature that are recognized as being pretty good. And all those are washed away. And it makes me really sad that that's the case.
It's not washed away. You still have the books.
You still have them, but part of the allure of reading Star Wars books and comics that happen after Return of the Jedi is that you know what happens.
You know what happens to these characters.
And you know what happens with the characters, you know the official storyline, and, you know what happens. And with the new canon, now it's all washed away. So that's the first perspective.
Maybe
Second,
it'll be more awesome.
Say what?
Maybe it'll be more awesome.
Well, that goes into the second perspective. And this is the one that I actually am trying to take, and I feel like I am taking, is that now it's nice because there's a fresh start. For new fans, for fans who weren't able to get into the extended universe, because when I got into it, it was overwhelming. There were so many books, Star Wars books. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know where the beginning of everything was. I bought a couple series. I had some recommendations, and that helped me. But it was just overwhelming. It was way too many books. A lot of the books I read weren't really that great of quality. Some of them were good, again, like I said. But I think it's nice that it's going to be a fresh start, and I'm going to get a chance to read everything as it comes out, kind of stay on top of it. And Disney has been known to make good products. They're known for quality.
Name three.
So what?
Name three.
3 good products that Disney makes?
Challenge.
Okay.
On the spot, right here.
Kingdom Hearts.
That's one. You can't say Kingdom Hearts 2 as number 2.
Okay. The movie Frozen. Love it.
But did Disney make Kingdom Hearts, or did Square Enix make Kingdom Hearts?
Both.
I feel like Square Enix made it. I feel like they're just like, hey, let's borrow Mickey Mouse. And Disney's like, well, whatever, no one's going to play this game anyway. Turns out to be huge.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Love Pirates of the Caribbean.
All of them? Or just one of them?
What?
All of them or just one of them? I have the theory that the first Pirates of the Caribbean was good on accident.
On accident?
Yeah. Because they've made literally 3 other movies, and all of them have been awful. Which makes me think, why couldn't they replicate what made the first one so good? Which makes me think that the first one was good on accident.
I like the whole series as a whole.
You know, the last movie at World's End is like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
I started watching it one night at like 8 o'clock. Didn't realize it was so long.
Yeah,
like, this movie sucks.
Very long.
They're making new ones.
They are
Johnny
making
Depp
new ones.
is coming back. And Orlando Bloom.
Yep.
It's like 10 years later.
Yep. How do you feel about that? I feel like
it's gonna suck.
I feel like you don't like Disney. That's what I'm getting.
I like Disney.
I love Disney.
You still need to give me one more example.
There are so many examples.
I don't accept pirates. Maybe
you don't accept pirates?
The first one was okay, but I think it was an accident.
I guess Pixar's WALL-E was made by Disney.
Never seen it all the way through.
You haven't seen? Oh my gosh. What else?
I got to the fat people in space and I was like, this is stupid.
Like The Lion King. Do I need to go through all the classics?
That counts as one. All the classics count as one.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Never
Holy cow! That movie's really like intense, and it's for kids, but it's definitely way more intense than what kids should have.
I haven't seen that movie.
What else? What other Disney movies good?
Disney product.
Disney Disney World. Have you been to Disney World? Have you? Have you?
I've been there when I was younger. If you consider waiting in line for 3 hours in 100-degree heat fun, then good on you.
And then do I even need to bring up Marvel? They're owned by Disney now.
They didn't make Marvel.
True.
Marvel was a good brand, and then Disney's like, I want this.
I mean, that's what they're doing with Star Wars.
But Star Wars is a good brand, and then Disney's like, I want this. You can't give Disney credit. You can after this movie comes out.
I mean, I have trouble thinking of movies or products that Disney's made that haven't been a success. I mean, I'm sure there are like TV movies that came out on the Disney Channel that weren't awesome.
No, it really sucks.
But what?
The fact that High School Musical was popular.
What else was kind of sad was the fact that I had a hand in that in my high school. We had a High School Musical, and I ran sound.
You could have sabotaged it.
I actually would sit up in the sound booth and dance the dances with them.
Well, that's embarrassing.
It is a little bit embarrassing. I just admitted that. So
I think Disney made Boy Meets World, so that's one.
That's good.
Well, I've been watching Girl Meets World.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that one.
You don't like it?
I've heard differing opinions about it, and I'm not really excited to watch it.
It's not as good as the first one, but you gotta go in expecting it not as good.
Right.
I'll get a good chuckle out of it once per episode.
All right, well,
so I think Star Wars. You're talking about canon and stuff.
Yeah, I think the canon. I'm excited because, like I said, it wasn't easily approachable before, and I think now it's going to be very approachable. And I think Disney is going to have a tighter rein on the canon. I think part of my problem with the extended universe before was that some of the stories were a little bit ridiculous. I didn't feel like they fit within Star Wars, and I know that. Like, Lucasfilm had to approve all those books, but from what I could tell, they were pretty loose with what they allowed the authors to do with the characters. Some ridiculous situations happened that I didn't really... It didn't seem like it fit with what I saw on the screen, or like the universe that I saw on the screen with the original movies. You know, and that allure of like that Western sci-fi kind of feel that Star Wars brings was just gone in some of those stories. And my understanding of it, like one of the books I remember, like Luke uses the Force and makes himself fit into like a small box.
How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. And I was like, where does that come from?
Do you use pin particles?
I mean, that's what it sounds like.
You probably use pin particles.
Yeah, Ant-Man was there, definitely. He was wearing a suit.
Paul Rudd was there.
Yeah, Paul Rudd making an appearance. So it just got a little ridiculous, a little out of hand, I thought. And so I'm excited for the new stuff. And I've been up to date with 2 of the comic series that Marvel's been releasing for Star Wars, which is awesome because now we have Marvel making Star Wars comics, which they have before in the past. But Dark Horse Comics had taken over Star Wars for a long time. So now it's like I think in the 70s and in the 80s there were some Star Wars comics that were Marvel, and then Dark Horse Comics took it over. So I'm excited. I'm reading the main Star Wars comic books that take place between Episode 4 and Episode 5, and then also the Darth Vader series, which runs alongside the other comics, and kind of goes into Emperor Palpatine's distrust and like his distaste for Darth Vader after the loss of the Death Star, which he blames on Darth Vader. And so he has to go through a lot of trials and like situations to prove himself again.
Was Darth Vader in charge of putting like plywood in front of the exhaust port?
Yeah, he missed it.
And he didn't?
He just forgot, honestly. He was being lazy. He's getting his like filter changed on his helmet.
There's a door that says authorized personnel only.
Yeah.
And then the whole Death Star stays alive.
I know. The small things in life, really, the details, man. The details. All right. But I think we're going to break, and we're going to come back.
We'll do something. It's the end of part 1.
Part 1 is over. The end.
We can just keep recording. We don't need to stop. Let's go to part 2 right now.
Go to the bathroom.